Hi guys! Welcome to my channel. In case if you're new here, my name is Natalia. This is a video about cross stitch. So my channel is mostly about diamond painting and cross stitch, though I don't guarantee that there may be some other things in the future. But this is for now what I'm focusing on. And this is a Flosstube episode, so an episode about cross stitch. I think this is the fourth one now. So I've got a lot to update you on. It's been a long month for me, so it's been over a month I think since my last video. It's been a very eventful month, not all in a good way, but well, I won't bore you too much with the details, but I think I need to give you some updates. And I've done a lot of stitching, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'll give you some updates on my projects, and just generally what I've been up to, and also what my plans are. Okay, so I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm having some hot water with lemon and honey, and generally I find that always helps a little bit for my throat. So I'm going to sip on it every now and then. I've got a different mug today. I don't have that many mugs, but this is also one of my favorites. It's the one I used to live in Cambridge, and I work in genomics, so I deal with DNA on a daily basis. And this is a mug from, so DNA was actually discovered in Cambridge in 1954, and so these are the scientists that were involved in the discovery of the structure of the DNA, basically. Yeah, so that's the mug for my sciencey geeky life. But okay, so what should I start with? I don't know, should I start with some stitching update? I hope this video is not going to be too all over the place. It's been, as I said, a very long month. A long month because, well, the month started off well. And then I had some not so good news from Poland, from my parents, which I'm not going to go into detail of what happened, but enough to say that my parents are in a bit of a difficult situation at the moment. It's been a difficult time for them, and it came as a bit of a shock to me and my mom especially. And it took some time for us to deal with the news, so I was a bit distressed for some time, and then I traveled to Poland, which was planned. I was going to travel to Poland anyway for a holiday, and I traveled, well, it kind of worked out in a way that I was able to go and see my family in this difficult time, and it's also kind of been a good time to travel in terms of COVID, because the situation has still been quite okay in both Poland and in the UK, so I was able to travel without any problems. So that's all worked out well, and I think me going to Poland has really helped the situation, and has also given me a lot of stitchy time, because that's all. I just took a few stitchy projects with me to Poland, and that's most what I did with my days there, when my parents were at work, or if we just had some time to chill, or just even watching TV, I would be stitching. So I've done quite a bit of stitching, even at the airport, going to Poland. I was stitching at the airport, and I also was stitching on the plane actually, and I was quite curious whether they were going to confiscate my scissors, but apparently you are allowed scissors up to 6 centimeter length, so just small embroidery scissors are completely fine to take on the plane, just in case if you're wondering. I know that the US people are probably very used to traveling on the plane all the time. Here in Europe, maybe we don't fly as much, so I'm not as familiar with all the rules for stitching on the plane. But okay, so I'll try and just give you some updates on my project. So first of all, I have one FFO. For those of you who may not know what that stands for, it's fully finished object. That basically means that I put my cross stitch into frame, like this. So it's just a very small cross stitch pattern that I did for my my previous Flosstube. If you're interested in that, I'll link it up in the eye. But basically that's for the day for chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Their symbol, their kind of logo for the day, their symbol for the day was an umbrella. And so I stitched an umbrella to raise awareness about CLL and about blood cancers in general, because I work as a scientist with blood cancers, And so I stitched that for that day, and I posted a video about it, and I love this little umbrella actually. That was the pattern came from Etsy from MilliCrossStitch. I will link all the patterns that I'm talking about in this video below, as well as any other shops or any other creators that I mentioned. I will try and remember to link them all below the video. In case if I don't, just remind me in the comments. Okay, so that's one thing that I've done. I've got lovely FFO, and I'm going to put it on the shelf behind me. You may notice I don't have a lot of things on my walls. I have one diamond painting behind me on the wall, but I don't actually have any cross stitch on the walls at the moment. Most of the wall, I have a couple of things on the walls that are from my landlord, actually, they're not mine. But I'm hoping with time, when I make some nice projects that I really like and enjoy, then I will also put them on the walls. But at the moment, I don't really have that much cross stitch around my room, so I need to stitch some bigger projects and hang something up. Okay, so then into my whips, because I don't have any finishes. So it's a new start and a whip, and that's the one that I was working on the airport as well as on the plane. And then I was working on it for maybe 2 or 3 days, quite a lot in Poland. So I've made a lot of progress on this one. Now I don't have the finished picture. I should have come prepared, shouldn't I? What else is new? What else is new? It happens every time. But this is from the Owl Forest Embroidery. Here it starts. The mess is already, the chaos is beginning. But this is a snail from from the Owl Forest Embroidery. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me just grab the box because I think that's what's distracting me. So I will edit this out. Okay, this will be easier. So I've got the box. This is the kit that I got from the Owl Forest Embroidery. And it's one of their snail houses. So they have at the moment 3 kits that are snail houses, and they're very, very cute. So they're 3 different snails with 3 different types of flowers. So this one has forget-me-nots, which I haven't stitched yet actually, but it's got forget-me-nots. And it's got this castle as a snail house as well. So they've got 2 other snails. I think one is with these little strawberries and one is with lilies. I think with lilies. They're all cute, and I think they're going to release more as well in case if anybody is interested in having a collection of snail houses. And I started to stitch this motivated by MilliCrossStitching, who I'll also link below, who is doing a hashtag Snail House Saturday. So I started stitching it, she motivated me basically to get this kit and to get stitching on it. So where I am with it, here. So it's a tiny one. It's such a tiny little cute piece of fabric. I love it. Like it's so small. Super cute. But that's my snail. I hope that you can see it okay. So my front camera, it doesn't focus very well. So just in case you can't see many details, I will also post a little video here where you can watch, hopefully you can see more details of the snail. Just that's done with my back camera, which is just a little bit better at focusing. But it's a lovely kit. It comes with a needle minder, a lovely snail needle minder. So it's a nice smiley snail. I'm trying to put in the middle so that my camera focuses. Again, that should have been on the video. And the threads also, they're overdyed, I think that's what they're called, right? Overdyed threads. They are threads from the Owl Forest Embroidery. I mean, I don't know if they do it in-house or if they get them from somewhere else. But they're variegated threads. So this is actually my first project with variegated threads, which is quite exciting. And I was a little bit worried about it at first. I read the instructions and I was so confused, but then it turned out to not be as tricky as it seems. The one thing to remember when working with variegated threads is to not do the loop method, because that kind of ruins the variegation. Because that means that the shading on the thread is different on both ends. So if you put the 2 ends together, you'll get different shades on the 2 ends, and the effect will be lost on the project. So as long as you don't use the loop method, so I'm just using 2 strands, 2 separate strands, pairing them, making sure the variegation is going in the same direction on the 2 strands. Basically just I think one more important thing, in case if you are one of these stitchers who stitches 1/2 like a half stitch first, like a line of half stitches, and then the other half stitches. Probably not the best idea to do it if you're doing a long line of stitches. It's better to do one stitch at a time, or just a couple of stitches at a time, because otherwise, again, you may get different shade on the top half stitch rather than the bottom half stitch. And I feel like I'm probably explaining this horribly, and you're probably wondering what I'm talking about, but probably most people here will know better than me how to use variegated threads, so I'm not too worried about that. And there's lots of tutorials, I'm sure, as well, from more experienced people who explain how to do this. And they attach an instruction with the kit, which is really helpful, because even if you, like me, you have no clue how to work with variegated threads, there is an instruction, which is a little bit scary, but there's also a picture. And the pictures help to kind of like understand how it works. So that was helpful that they included that as well. Okay, now I'll have some more hot water with lemon for my throat, especially because I'm talking so much to you guys now that I'm probably gonna lose my voice. Yeah. So I got a bit of a cold. I was already feeling a bit of a sore throat in Poland, but then I came back here and it got worse. I think also because I got soaked on the way back from the airport, and yeah, it didn't help. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse than that. Okay, right, so what's next? I feel like there's so much. So as you know, I'm doing 2 stitch alongs. Wait. I'm having a bit of a disaster here because my needle minders have stuck together, I think. Let me deal with that. Okay, done. Right, so one stitch along that I'm loving. I'm loving this one, and I'm so looking forward to stitching the rest of it. I'm a bit slow, but it's only because I'm working on so many projects at a time that I'm just not being able to do more. And this one takes a bit of time because there's a lot of back stitch on it and a lot of color changes. So it's not a quick stitch along, definitely not. But it's the whimsical alphabet from the little room in the attic. And so basically every 2 weeks they release a new letter, and it's completely free of charge at the moment. I think once it's all released it's going to be paid for, but at the moment the patterns are free. So I've been collecting them, and I think the last release was last week, possibly, I'm not sure, and that was I. So I don't know if it will be next week or the week after, but it will be J. So I'm way behind because I only just finished D, but I'll show you. So you've seen already A and B and part of the C in my last floss tube, but I only finished C after the last floss tube, and then I did D in Poland. So again, because I'm suspecting you probably can't see it very well, I will now insert a little video where I show you in more detail how this is looking, just so that you can see. I think I lost my needle from this needle minder. I'll be stuck to a different needle minder probably. Right. But yes, I also have a needle minder on here, which is from JustSewHeavenly. I quite like that shop. It's also on Etsy, JustSewHeavenly. And it says, quite fitting to my current situation, is storms don't last forever, with a little rainbow. So I love rainbows as well, and of course I support rainbow. I don't know how to say it, but basically I'm all for the rainbows, and so it's quite nice to have this this needle minder and with this little nice motto. I had a different one, but the other one was quite bulky and I was traveling, so I changed it to this one. Yes, anything I should say about this? There's a lot of cranic in this one, and as I'm sure you've seen, a lot of backstitch. So obviously all the writing is backstitched, but also on the actual figures themselves. And there's a lot of there's backstitch that's done with like 1 strand, then 2 strands, then 3 strands, then 4 strands, and there's also some white backstitch. So overall there's a lot of backstitch to do, and also there's quite a few colors in each of them, and they're very small patterns, so you just do a few stitches of one color and you have to change to a different color. So it's a bit time consuming in a way, but I'm really loving this cross stitch. So the fabric, I should have said, the fabric is from, this is from Lakeside Needlecrafts, so it's a UK based shop because I'm in the UK, but it's actually fabric flare, I think, and it's Ada 18 count, or is it fabric flare? I don't, is it? It says here 30 dust cloud blue, or maybe it's Lakeside Needlecrafts, they're in-house. Anyway, it is called Fairy Dust Cloud Blue, and you can get it from Lakeside Needlecrafts. It is possibly Fabric Flare, but I'm not sure. And as I said, it's 18 count Ada. And I really enjoy 18 count Ada. I think it may be my favorite. I love 16 as well. I hate 14. And yeah, so I think 18 is my favorite so far. I didn't mention the fabric for this project, but this was included in the kit. And this says 32 count, Zweigart Belfast. That's all it says. It doesn't say what color this is. And the threads were hand-dyed threads based on DMC cotton floss, basically. So they include all that in the kit. Okay. I have unboxing of that kit, which if I remember, I'll link it up in the eye as well. Okay, so that's that. Now, well, this kind of popped out from the bottom of my pile. I wasn't planning on showing this now, but now I'm thinking I may just show it because it's on top now. So I started something new, and I'm not like thrilled with it, I have to say. I thought it would be really cute. So basically, I discovered Satsuma street designs on Etsy, and I got quite excited about a few of them. And since it's autumn, and I felt like stitching something that's autumn related, and I've always wanted to stitch something seasonal, like having something for every season. So I thought this may be a nice idea to have like one for every season, because they have like a sampler for every season. So I got the autumn one, and I started stitching it, but I'm not sure, I'm not convinced. So you can tell me, guys, what you think about this one. Basically, I'll show you the picture of the finished design here. Hopefully it should appear. And this is what I've got so far. Okay, here you can see more. So I think there are multiple reasons for why I'm not thrilled with this design. One thing that's kind of, well, there's some things I like. So I like every little cute pattern that's like inside the squares. Like that's what attracted me to this pattern, is that you have like the cute little leaf. I love the leaf. Then you have like a tree going here, and there's a squirrel, and there are birds, and I love all these things. Like I love mushrooms as well. I'm a fan, so I realized that I love a lot of things that are connected with autumn. Like when I was looking at like cross stitch patterns and diamond paintings, I was like, oh, I really love a lot of these things, because I'm a nature person, so I love the outdoors. I love trees, I love leaves, I love eating mushrooms. Well, I love picking mushrooms, I love eating mushrooms. I love squirrels, and squirrels seem to be connected with autumn as well. They're on a lot of autumn designs. There's a squirrel that goes in here as well. I love birds. So I love like nuts. I love nuts. So basically I love all the autumn things. So even though I hate the weather today is just dreadful, and it's been like that for a few days. It's just been horrible here in the UK. So I hate the weather, but I do love the things that we associate with autumn. So I thought this would be fun to stitch. But there are things, I think part of the problem may be the fabric that I picked. I'm still learning about fabrics, and I'm still learning the differences between them, and what does it mean that something is casual linen or Belfast or I don't know, Murano, or you know, I'm still learning all these different, what all these different names stand for, like what are the differences between the fabrics. And I've never had casual linen before. This is 28 count as well, which may have been a mistake, but I wanted to try stitching on 28 count because it seems to be looking very good on the pictures when other people do it. And I wanted to try, well, basically I wanted this color linen that's kind of beige slash yellowy, kind of like towards these kind of colors. And we don't have a lot of, in the UK, generally, we're quite limited. Like there aren't that many stores that sell linen, basically cross stitch fabrics. So a lot of them are constantly like out of stock, even if they're in the shop, like they're constantly out of stock. So we have very limited like choice for fabrics. And so I saw this color and I thought, oh, this would be nice. Like this should work quite nice. Maybe it's a bad choice of color, I don't know, but I don't think the color is as much of an issue as the fact that the linen is very, very loose. So I don't know if this is probably just casual linen, Maybe it's because it's 28 count, I don't know, because I've never stitched on 28 count linen. Maybe all 28 count linens are like this, but this one is very loose in terms, like, it doesn't give me a lot of support with my stitching. So I will also insert a video here, I forgot, of this, so just in case you want some close-up. I don't think there's much to show on the close-up, so it will just be a quick video just to show you how it looks like. But you may notice that my stitches are a bit uneven. And that's something that I'm surprised, like, it's the first project that I'm finding this with. When I originally started cross stitch, I was really worried that all my stitches will be uneven, but I actually found that I'm not too bad. Like, generally, of course, I'm not fantastic, but generally I can keep my stitches quite even. But here, oh my goodness, they all look different from each other. They look very wonky. They don't look great, and I'm trying to keep the tension the same. I tried stitching part of it on the hoop, but it didn't seem to make a lot of difference as well. So I'm just a bit annoyed that the stitches look so uneven. Also the coverage, it's not perfect. There are white things coming up, and this linen, it's got a lot of like also bits on it, so sometimes even like in the leaf there's like a bit of linen that keeps going through. That's like, it looks like there's a stitch missing, but it's actually because there's a bit in the linen that I can't stitch over. So it's a very kind of messy linen. Like, I'm finding it's very uneven. It's very loose. It doesn't give me a lot of support when I stitch. So I found it very difficult to stitch on. So I'm not a big fan of this specific type of fabric. So again, that's 28 count kasha linen. I don't know what the color is called. I don't think I kept it anywhere. Is it sand? Oh, maybe not. If I find the information, I will put it on the screen. What type of linen, like what type of color that is of that linen, just so that you know. Yeah, but I wouldn't really recommend it. But of course, so other people stitch on it, so I'm sure there are people who like it. Maybe it's just me, maybe I just don't know how to stitch on it. But what else? Well, the other thing that's bothering me, so there's a lot of browns, and which makes sense because it's an autumn stitch. And the leaf, I love the leaf. I think the rendering of the leaf is very nice. I like, there are only 4 colors in the leaf, but I love how the leaf turned out. But as much as I love mushrooms in real life, I'm not a fan of these mushrooms, how they turned out. They just all seem to be blending together a little bit. Maybe some backstitch would help, but I think it's because there isn't a lot of contrast between the different shades of browns and reds on this little pattern, so they kind of end up being a bit blended together. So I'm not quite sure about them. I'll try and stitch some other things. So I think there's a squirrel going here, and there's a tree. I think the tree will look nice. I think the tree will look similar to the leaf. I think it should come out nicely, but there are some other ones that I'm not so sure about. So after stitching that first one, I'm not so sure about anymore. One thing that you may notice that this design uses variegated threads, but they are DMC Variegated Threads. So they're the ones that you can just get anywhere, that they're the DMC ones. And so the main one, you can see that the frame is stitched in, I think it's 049, so, if I remember correctly. So that's one, but there's also, you can see in the leaf, all of these are variegated as well. So there's quite a few, and I was quite curious to try the DMC Variegated Threads, and I quite enjoy working with them. I don't really have any complaints. I've heard people before say that the DMC Variegated Threads, that they take too long for the variegation, but I don't think so. I mean, looking at the frame, they do take a little bit. Like, there are big sections, like let's say, so this was all stitched, I think, with the same, well, I don't know if the same piece of string, but basically along the same thread. So you can see how long it took from the dark to go to light. I don't know, maybe that is too long. Maybe because looking at my snail, actually the colors change very quickly, and here it took quite a few stitches, and it's 14 count, so they're big stitches. So maybe that's the issue, that it takes a bit long time for the variegation. But then looking at the leaf, you can see the variegation, even though it's not so very big. I think that's one thing also that I didn't realize, is how big this design is. And there's like, it seems small, but it took me a very long time to stitch this. I don't know if it's the linen, but it just took me much longer than I expected, and I think that's kind of also disappointed me a little bit, because I didn't want to spend that much time on this, and now I feel like I still have all these little bits to stitch. So I'm not sure if I'll make it for before the end of this autumn, or maybe it will be the next autumn that I'm done with it. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, but I think enough about this one, right? I don't know if I'm missing something. I may be missing something. I'm sorry. I'm really disorganized, apparently. Every time I think I'm going to tell you all those things, and then I forget. But hopefully, you know, I'm giving you enough information. Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of my lemon honey water. That's good. It's good to have a break as well for my throat. I hope you've had a good stitchy month. I've been missing you guys. I prefer to record a little bit less, like it's been a month apart. But it's also nice to have so much progress to show you. It's just that I feel like this makes the video very long, and maybe people will get really bored of it. So maybe I'd prefer to stitch to record more often, but with less. I don't know, we'll see. But then I never, like, it takes quite a bit of time to prepare for the recording, and then make the recording and then upload it. So then it's also easier to do it a bit less frequently. Especially that I have my diamond painting videos as well. So we'll see how we go. It was a month now. It may be a little bit random with me. It may be a month once, and then it may be 3 weeks the next time, or maybe even 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll see how we go. I'm still learning it all, and I'm still just kind of finding my way around YouTube and Flosstube and all those things. And it also depends what happens in life, because if life gets in the way, then it's a bit hard to record. Okay, but so the next thing I have to show you that I'm really happy with, but also I haven't done as much progress as I was maybe hoping for because of all my other projects, is my other stitch along, which is the Modern Folk Embroidery, The Fruit of Plenty. So that's where I am. You may be disappointed, because I think I said I was going to do more than that, and I didn't end up doing that much. So what you should be able to see, so I don't think I took a picture last time when I showed you guys, because then the last video I kind of did very rushed, and it was a bit chaotic, and I don't think I took a picture before the video of where I was. But I started the second month. So this is a stitch along, so every section is released every month. And I'm way behind. I'm so behind that that's not even worth mentioning. But basically this started in January, and I'm only doing the February part, and I still haven't finished the February part. But the issue with this stitch along is that every section is like over 4,000 stitches. And for me that's quite a lot of stitches, because I'm not a fast stitcher. If it's an easy stitch, I can do 100 stitches in an hour. But then if I make a mistake, and I usually do, then I have to frog something, or if there are like many color changes, obviously that will slow me down, or I'll have a tangle, and like I have a knot, and it will take me forever to get rid of the knot. So the 100 stitches is if I had no issues, and a nice easy pattern, I can do 100 stitches an hour. But so for 4,000 stitches, that's quite a lot of hours on one project that I would need to do. And I have all my other projects and my diamond painting, so it's really not going that quickly. But I don't have a deadline for this. I'm doing this for myself, or potentially to give to my parents because I think it would look lovely in their house. I actually thought about because there's a place where you can put initials in, one on one side and one on the other side. So I actually thought about putting like my parents' first name initials on each side, like one initial for my mom, one for my dad. And then I'll choose, there's a choice of house, and I have no idea what I would choose yet for that middle. The August section has a tile that you can choose what goes inside the tile. But you can pick like a different house or like a bird house, and they're very cute. And I would love to like one day stitch the whole thing, and then if that was hanging in my parents' house, I think that would be beautiful. So now I took it to Poland and I showed it to my mom, and she loved it. She said the colors look beautiful, so you can choose your own colorway. The original one is two blues, one lighter and one darker blue, but I decided to deviate from that. I'm stitching it on Newcastle 40 count linen. It's the raw Newcastle linen. And I'm actually loving this linen. This is so far my favorite linen. I haven't stitched on that many, but this one, I love it. I love the feel of the 40 count. Obviously it's small, the holes are very small, so they may be a bit hard to see sometimes. But I find that when I put it on the hoop, or if I put it on the Q-snap, that it's quite easy then to see. Like I'm not struggling too much. And depending on the lighting as well, if it's in the dark room, that I will struggle stitch on this. But generally, no, I try not to stitch in dark rooms because that never goes well. And so I'm stitching, I chose to use 3 colors actually. So I think a lot of people do 2 colors because the original version was with 2 colors. I decided to pick 3 colors, and I'm kind of improvising, to be honest. I'm deciding as I go where each color is going to go, and sometimes I do have like second thoughts, so you know, maybe I should have stitched that in a different color, but I'm just gonna let it flow and see how it looks like in the end. So hopefully you can see. Again, in a minute I will give you a little video, but for now I'll try and show you here. So I'm just trying to see what's on your screen. That's why you see part of my face. But basically, so the January part is over here. That's all finished. And then this is the February part. And I have it partially finished. So I've stitched this whole middle section in Poland. This whole heart and all the bits that go around the heart. I stitched that in Poland. And obviously I'm not a very good, well, I always, it's such a silly thing, you know, when you make a mistake in cross stitch and you just like, you're so sure that you're right, that I don't know, for some, I'm so sure that you know, it's all fine, and I keep stitching away, and then suddenly I look back, I'm like, this looks wrong, and I stitched most of the heart. Most of it, I just had a little bit left, and then I realized I started in the wrong place. So I had to frog this whole red heart with a little bit of the brown around it as well. So I had just part of the brown done. And actually, if I had gone with the brown further, I would have realized much earlier that I made a mistake because it wouldn't fit. But I only stitched a little bit of the brown and then went on to stitch the red in because I like the red in the middle, and I started the heart in the wrong place, and I had to frog like probably close to 300 stitches and then restitch the 300 stitches. So see what I mean? So that's like 3 hours of stitching that I had to frog. It took me probably like an hour and a half at least to frog it, and then I had to restitch it, so that's another 3 hours. So so much for 100 stitches an hour, right? Yeah, so that's unfortunately got delayed because of that, but I still love this project. I love how it looks. Like even now I can't stop looking at the, like you're probably wondering why is she looking at the, I'm not looking at the camera, but it's just because I'm enjoying looking at this project so much that I'm just looking at it on my screen on the phone. It's like, oh, it looks so pretty, it looks so pretty. And so sorry guys for not looking at the camera, but I'm just really enjoying this project. I think it looks beautiful. So I'm really happy. I didn't tell you what the 3 colors were, right? So the blue one is 3750, then the red one is 815, I believe, and then the brown is 844. And for a while, I'm always like keep questioning myself, but for a while I was, I should have just took the red and blue. But then actually here, I was enjoying the brown so much. I think the brown looks great here. I love how the brown looks. And then now I'm thinking, oh, I should have just gone for more brown here. So I keep like coming back, oh, I should have done this, I should have done this. But again, as I'm just doing it as I go, trying to keep some consistency, because there are some lines that go through the whole painting, and I need to be aware what colors I give to these lines in different parts of the painting. Pattern. So that's something that I need to keep in mind, but I'm trying to be consistent with the specific sections being consistent with the colors, but there is a lot of improvisation going into the color choices here. Okay, so right, so I think I just have one more to show you. I think so. God, we're 35 minutes in. You'll be so bored by now. I still have a few sips. Okay, I'm losing my voice now. Okay, So this is not a lot of progress. You may have, if you've been with me from the start, you may have seen this one, but I think I only showed it in my first ever Flosstube. So if you joined after that, you wouldn't have seen this project. Again, I'm not prepared, guys. Let me grab the pattern, the thing. Okay, I spent forever looking for it, and then I found it was lying next to me on the floor, so that's fun. Okay. I put on my project bags, I just use these Amazon bags, but I put them all on the floor next to me for the projects that I'm showing you, and that was in the bag, so yes, silly me. So that's what the finished, so this is an RTO kit, and this is what the finished thing should look like. But actually, well, I've deviated a little bit from this because I changed the fabric. So I started originally stitching it on the fabric that was supplied. It was a 14 count Aida, which, as I told you, I hate 14 count, but it was very, very dull, horrible gray, and I wasn't enjoying it. And I couldn't really see the bird very well, all the clouds on that fabric. And and I changed the fabric, but funnily enough, I still can't see them. But I was kind of hoping maybe if I use a different fabric, it'll be more visible. It didn't really help with what I wanted, but I still prefer the fabric that I'm stitching on at the moment. So the kit is called Fairy Tales Live on the Roofs. I'm reading from the screen. Yes, but fairy tales live on the roofs. And I think it looks very cute on the picture, but it doesn't seem to be turning out the same way as it looks on the picture. Mainly, see the clouds, they look much more, like they look quite blue on here, right? And around the bird, there seems to be a bit of blue. But the threads that they gave me, they seem more grey. It's all very grey. And the issue is that the bird, I can't really see the bird unless I come very close to the actual fabric. And in the sunlight, you can see it really well in the sunlight, but we don't get a lot of sunlight in the UK, so that's why I can actually never see the bird. But so this is what I have. And so last time when I showed you, I had part of this building stitch, but with no back stitch on it. And then I had maybe part of this tree, but again with no back stitch as well. I had all this done already by then. So I'll try and show you some here. I don't know if I in the previous thing that I showed you, I should have given time to show you the video. So well, I may just make a cut and insert it, I don't know. Hopefully there's time for me there to show you the video of the previous project. With this one, I think it will be easier if I just insert a video here of what it looks like, because I'm quite sure that my front camera is not going to give it justice, because it doesn't focus very well, and this is very hard to see already as it is. So hopefully you're seeing the video now of what the project looks like. And I am like, I do like what it should look like, and I really do love the girl. I think the girl, she looks really pretty. It's a shame again that you can't see some of the details very well. So she's got a crown and she's got wings, but they're very hard to see. And at some angles you can just about see them. You can see a bird on this angle actually. Interesting. When I put it like this, you can kind of see it. Ooh, okay. Interesting. And then this is the tree and the house. So I'd like to keep stitching on it to see how the rest of the town here, how the houses with the rooftops, how they turn out. I think they'll be much more visible, kind of like this already the first house. You can see it much better than the rest of things and the tree, because they're mostly based around dark grays. So there's a lot of dark grays, and they're more full coverage, and the houses are more full coverage. So if I show you again, like these ones here, this is all stitching. So basically the fabric won't interfere really with these colors, and there's a lot of back stitch. So with back stitch it's always easier to see. But yeah, I think it doesn't look like on the cover exactly. Like you can see the bird and the crown and everything much clearer on the cover, and this looks much more blue to me. And I know you may say, oh, this is your fabric, but the original fabric was actually as bad, if not even worse than mine. So I don't think it's this, I think it's an issue maybe with the thread choices, with the actual design, that they just don't stand out very well. And if you use a darker fabric, some of the other elements may get lost. So maybe it's a difficult one, just a difficult design to make it all look really nice and visible. Okay, but so, well, I'm stitching that on 16 count, yeah, it's 16 count Aida, and it's a printed Aida, so it's white on the back. It's from PulpStitchinAberdeen. It's again a shop on Etsy, so I'm a big Etsy fan these days. But it's a shop that's based in Scotland, in the UK. They're very quick for delivery. They've got some lovely printed fabrics. I think it's all Aida. I'm not sure if there are any other fabrics, but they've got a selection of different prints. So I'm really enjoying this one. And my umbrella was also stitched on a fabric from them. So under, you can possibly see, there's also a tiny, like a light print. It's like a bluish, grey bluish print on that fabric. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's there. It's not white, basically. It's more bluish grey. Okay. Right. So then I could tell you a few things about my plans. So my plans change like the wind. So you can never know what I may actually do. I may tell you one thing, but I may do something completely different. I had some haul. Because I have a different idea every day for what I'm gonna stitch next. So so as I said, I had a bit of browse through Satsuma Street, and I actually found them initially, I think, because I was looking for a pattern of like zodiac signs. Mostly I was looking for an Aquarius, because I'm an Aquarius, and I don't know why I thought it would be nice to stitch an Aquarius, because I'm not really into zodiac or horoscope. That's the funny thing, but I think that for some reason I fit very well with the Aquarius sign, even though I don't read horoscopes, so I don't really know very much. I don't even remember all the different signs that there are. But whenever I read about Aquarius, like the characteristics, and I know I have a few friends who are also Aquariuses, and we're quite similar in a few ways. And my dad is Aquarius as well, and we're also similar in a few ways. And there are some traits, so I'm kind of like, I quite like the Aquarius sign. I'm not too bothered about the other ones, but I like the Aquarius. And I thought maybe, I could stitch the Aquarius. And I was just looking on Etsy for like patterns of zodiac, and then I found and then I went on Satsuma Street, and they have the whole collection of zodiac, and they're so cute. And then of course I was like, oh, it would be nice actually to stitch them all as a little sampler, you know, having all the different zodiac signs. I don't even know why, because I'm not so keen on zodiac, so maybe it's a stupid idea. So who knows if I'm gonna do it actually. But then I found this lovely fabric. Because they all stitched on Satsuma Street, like the models, they're all stitched on black fabric, and they look really, really nice. But I wasn't sure about just using like black Aida, and then, well, it's like, I wasn't sure, like I'm kind of looking for different options for fabrics, and I found this sparkly, black sparkly Aida. Oh, isn't that amazing? It's quite transparent now that I look at it, but obviously if you put it on something like a board, on like mounting board or something, then you wouldn't see it. Like now you can see me through it. But basically, it's a lovely sparkly. It's a very, very soft Aida. It's so soft. I've never seen Aida like this. You can fold it like this. It doesn't crunch. It's soft to touch. It's very exciting. And I got a very big piece of it. So this is just part of it that I cut out, because I found, I think it was like, I don't know if it was 18 pounds for like a meter and by a meter and a half. So I just got the whole piece, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it all, but it's beautiful fabric. So I think you could stitch a lot of things on it. I think it's really nice. I love it. And that's from Turkey. So that I also found it on Etsy, and I was going to show you as well, but oh god, I'm so disorganized. Give me a sec. Here's the rest of it, but I wanted to show you the person, whoever owns the shop, which I don't remember the name of right now, but I'll put the name of the store here on the screen, and I'll also put the link below as well, or the name of the shop below, because it's quite hard to link to Etsy, I think. But She or he, I'm not sure. They also gave me 2 samples. Well, gave me. It's just basically attached 2 samples of other Aidas, sparkly Aidas that they have. Look how beautiful! It's like silvery one and a gold one. How much they sparkle! They're beautiful fabrics. Like honestly, if you're looking for sparkly Aida, it's not very expensive. Like for a meter by 100 by 150 centimeters, it was like £18. That's ridiculously cheap, in my opinion, for a fabric of that quality. I think that's very cheap. So I think the store is based in Turkey, so it took maybe about 3 weeks to arrive, but I'm not in a rush, obviously. And so I'll see if I actually stitch the zodiac on it. I may stitch the Aquarius and see what it looks like, and see if I like it enough to stitch the rest of the signs. Yeah, but basically that's one fabric that I got that I'm really happy with. And I've got lots of it as well. How exciting! Then what else was I gonna show you? I've forgotten now. Then I had obviously I had other ideas as well. Oh yes, well I've been trying to kit something up, and I think I've got everything for it now, so I just need to start it one day. So yes, so it's the butterfly. So I've got a cutout from the magazine here. Let me see if I can show you. So, well, it may be easier if I show you a picture on the screen actually. So this got published in a magazine, The World of Cross Stitching. But which issue was this? I will, if I find it out, I will put information below or on the screen. About which issue that was. So this is a design by Joan Elliott, and you can get it also as a separate pattern. Or as part, if you get the old edition of the magazine, you can get it as part of the magazine. I've been looking at a lot of designs from Joan Elliott, and there's a lot that I love, and I would love to try and stitch them. And basically I got all the flosses for it, and there's also some beads. Sorry guys. I'm trying to find all the bits. But I didn't know for a long time, I didn't know what to stitch it on. And now I'm questioning a little bit because I'm not sure if I got the right count. But also someone showed on Flosstube, I think it was actually one of the diamond painting people, it's a crafting journey. I think the channel's called Crafting Journey, potentially. I didn't know she did Flosstube. But then I think I was just looking at some diamond painting, and I saw that she had Flosstube, and she was showing the fabrics that she got, and she bought this one, and I was like, that's the one I need. I thought, oh, this will look lovely. It's a sparkly one again. It's kind of, I seem to be picking similar fabrics every time. I don't know. I like the fabrics that are not too strong. I'm not, because I've been looking at hand-dyed fabrics. But my issue is that the mottling is quite often very strong, and the colors can be very strong, and I prefer to stitch on more milder colors, like lighter, more delicate colors. And I'm not such a big fan of the mottling. So I think I prefer if they're either plain or very what is this? They're not very oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if they're delicate, kind of subtle. Yeah, I prefer if there are any color changes, if they're nice and subtle, basically. So this is a sparkly fabric. Now you can't really, the camera, it's not as white as it looks on the camera. It's kind of rainbowy. It's very delicate yellowish, well, yellow in the middle. Then it's different patches of colors. So there's some pink here, there's some blue, and a bit of yellow again. So it's kind of, oh, maybe in this light it shows better, I don't know. No, the closer I go to the camera, the worse it looks. Yeah, it's very delicate, very subtle, but it's kind of rainbowy colors, and it's got sparkle through it. And I thought that's just perfect, that will do. Because again, I didn't want something very, very strong. Maybe I would prefer if it was a little bit stronger. But again, like I don't need it to be very strong, because for me it's the stitching that's the most important, right? And I've got the flosses for it. So these are beautiful, beautiful colors. Look at that. I'm loving like all the green and turquoise and purple. Like I think it's such nice colors. And so I've got the flosses, and then oh, there's also Kreinik. So I've got 3 different ones. So it's going well. Like these. Yeah, so one green, one. So the numbers are 85, 3533, and 102. They're all very fine braid, number 4. I love this one. It's like blue and purple and pink. It's gorgeous. And then this one's very green and blue and black. So they're lovely. And then here I've got the beads. And I'm a bit scared. So now I have a few things I want to stitch that have beads in them, but I've never done beads. So I'm really scared. How am I going to do them? Because that looks hard. I bought one of these bead mats. Like I bought one that you can, I think, stick them to the, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I bought it. But it will be a while because I haven't stitched anything yet. So it will be a while before I need to bead anything. So for now I just got the beads. And you can hopefully see, so these are, they just have different numbers. These are all the Mill Hill beads. It's 03047. Don't know if you can see them. And then 03034. And then these lovely white ones, 03021. Okay, cool. So that's what I bought for this one. So I've got everything I need to start this. I just need some time to actually stitch it. But in the meantime, of course, I thought of other things to stitch. So my next thing that I would like to stitch, it was inspired by Xcross Stitch. So Xcross Stitch is now my, well, I don't want to say my favorite because I love a lot of creators. There are many wonderful creators out there. But Xcross Stitch is this channel that whenever he posts a video, I was like, oh, I want to watch it right now. I want to watch it right now. I'm always very excited when he posts a new video. And he told the lovely story of his uncle and how he got inspired by the story of his uncle to stitch his first memorabilia. And he created a hashtag, my first memorabilia? No, first memorabilia Sal. I think it's first memorabilia Sal. And he said basically anybody who's stitching first memorabilia can join in and under this hashtag can post their progress. It's not any formal stitch along, so there's no deadlines or there's no start date or end date or anything like that. So it's just if you want to join, you can. If you've never stitched memorabilia and you'd like to try. And it's been something that's been on my mind for quite some time. So for a long time, I was saying I'm never gonna stitch a memorabilia. First because it seems like a lot of work, but second, actually, I'm not a fan. There's a lot of memorabilia designs that. Like, they look nice for the people who stitch them, but they don't seem like something that I would want to personally stitch. Like, there's lots of other designs I would rather stitch. But I'm looking into it. I've been looking into it the past few weeks. And I found some that, you know, I wouldn't mind stitching them, that they look really lovely. And I found this one design. So I was actually looking on eBay if anybody's selling something. And there was a pattern that they were selling very cheaply, just a few pounds. And I thought, oh, that looks lovely. And I started looking into it and I thought, yeah, that's the one that I could use as my first memorabilia. So I got myself a memorabilia and I'm a bit terrified of actually trying to stitch it. I'm not sure if I can do a good job of it or if I can even finish it. Again, with the beads, I don't know how well I can do with the beads. But you know what, with these stitching projects that have the beads on, I'm like, well, worst case, if I can't do the beading, I'll just put the stitches in and it will still be beautiful. But I will try my best to do the beading as well. But that's the one that I got. And yes, I'm a bit scared. It looks difficult. It looks, you know, I know that they are quite involved and there's quite a lot of stitching and beading and stuff and they can be difficult to stitch. But there's no time pressure, so this is not like, there's something that I'm very excited to try and start. I'd love to like join Chris and other people who are stitching their first memorabilia, but I wouldn't say this is like my top priority project. So I will see how I go. If I love it, I will obviously stitch more on it. But I may just put a few stitches in for the beginning and just maybe do some more work on other projects and come back to it at some other point in the future. I'm not sure yet, but I got all the supplies for it. So I got them from Hawkins. Is it Hawkins Hobbies? I think so. Let me see. Yes, Hawkins Hobbies. The name of the store is on here, if my camera ever focuses on it. Hopefully you can see it. I'm not sure if you can, but it's Hawkins Hobbies. I'll put the name below. There's a lot of things I need to put below today. But basically these are all the flosses. Although they missed like 5 flosses. So, and they didn't say anything. So they gave me a little note that one of the ones from the original thing was discontinued, so they had to replace it with another one, which was already on this pattern, but I think it's in different place. But anyway, so they replaced one and they left me a note, but then I went through them all and I think 5 was missing. So I found 3 either in my stash or in some other projects. So I put them all here for now. So I have them all together because there's some projects that I wasn't working on at the moment. And then I had to order 2 flosses separately, and it's fine. Maybe they just didn't have them, but it's strange that they didn't tell me that they didn't have them. I just found it a bit weird. So if they just missed them because they missed them, or were they out of stock? I'm not sure. But anyway, now I think I've got them all now. And there's one cranik. I'm not gonna take it out of here. It's like a rose gold cranik. It's number 013. I think it's for the wings. And then I've got some beads, like the Minhill beads. Let me see, I can show you. So I've got these like crystal ones. Don't know if you can see them very well, but they're 00161. There are these long ones for her wand. I think it's a fairy, right? And she's got like a magic wand. So that one is like long crystals. So I have no idea how to put this on the design, how you actually attach them, but they're pretty. They're long 70161. Okay, I'm not sure if you can actually see them, but anyway, I'll try and show you. And then there are 2 more. There's one rose gold, well, kind of brownish rose gold, which is 00275, like this. And then 02024, kind of similar in a way, so they're both brownish gold, kind of. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's the next thing that I would like to start. And again, I may just put a few stitches on, and that may be it. We'll see for a while. We'll see. The fabric, I decided, so the original, as you see, was stitched on kind of this brownish, greenish, dark fabric. I looked on Instagram for what people did in the past, and I really like the versions which used some different variants of blue fabric in the back, and or also grey. Grey also looked really good. And so I kind of went with blue-grey because I couldn't decide. So it's slate blue, which is kind of grey, but it's also blue. Again, my camera, I think, is not really giving it justice. It's more blue, and on my camera it looks kind of more grey than blue, but it is a bit blue. And it's a 32 count. Yes, it's 32 count Murano, I think so. It's even weave. So yeah, I didn't want like linen because I would like it to be as even as possible for the memorabilia. So I wanted to do even weave for memorabilia. Yeah, so I think this would look really nice on this. I think so. And then, oh, where the flosses? Yeah, I mean it's hard to tell because there are so many colors, but I think it will be alright. I think the light bits will stand out really nicely. And also, I think it's not too dark, because when I was looking on Instagram, I noticed when people use a very dark fabric, then actually the very light stitches, they don't look so nice. Because you can see the dark fabric from underneath, and they just kind of lose a little bit of that. I don't know, like maybe the coverage, maybe they were using 28 count and not 32, I'm not sure. But it just didn't look as nice as on lighter fabrics. So I decided to go slightly lighter fabric, but still quite, you know, a nice color, not just like, because you can't really use a very light fabric, because she's very light herself. So yeah, I didn't tell you that the name of this is Fairy Flora, and it was originally designed in 1994 by Nora Corbett, obviously. So it's an old one. Yeah. A very quick insert here from me, guys, but I thought it was important, and because I forgot to do it last time on my last Flosstube, I wanted to make sure that this is included in this video. As I'm mentioning my favorite Flosstubers, there's one that I really wanted to mention already the last time, and in the chaos, as today was the same, in the chaos of trying to show you everything I've done, it slipped my mind, and it shouldn't have. There's many wonderful Flosstubers out there, and I can't possibly mention them all today. But this one person, well, first of all, she also, when she posts a new video, I straight away go and watch it. I love her videos. I think she's a kind, wonderful person, and her stitching is beautiful. It's Crafty Cat Stitcher. I will also put the channel name in the description below. But also she was very kind. A few weeks ago, I think it was after my second Flosstube that I posted, she watched it, she left a lovely comment, and then she gave me a shout out in her video. And I so much appreciate that. Like, this was, and it's not just that she said, oh, go and watch this channel, but she said such nice things, which also I think I don't deserve that such nice things to be said. So I'm very grateful for such a kind mention from Kat, and she always leaves me comments, or you know, I also, like, I watch her Flosstube and then try and leave her comment if I don't forget. And so it's lovely to have such a lovely stitchy friend out there somewhere on the other side of the globe, and I just really appreciate the kindness. And just in case, I know that I got a few subscribers through Kathy. So a few people then turned up on my channel and then subscribed. But in case if someone here doesn't know about Kathy's channel, Crafty Cat Stitcher, she also has an Etsy shop, and if you're in the US, you may want to have a look. Unfortunately, I'm in the UK, so it's a bit difficult with the shipping. But for those of you who are in the US and you haven't yet heard of Kathy and her channel and her shop, make sure to visit. She is a lovely person. I'm sure you're going to love her. So just wanted to make sure that I include this time. Okay, and I think this is me for today, because I got tired of all this. And then I will show you, well, I'll see how much I do. I actually have some more, but I'll show you the remaining of my haul in my next Flosstube. Because I think I'm too tired now to show you anything more. It's been a very long video. It's 1 hour and 2 minutes. Very long. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you guys. If anybody is still watching this, I don't know who would, but if you are, thank you so much for joining me today for this Flosstube, for sticking with me despite the chaos and the mess and me looking at myself rather than the camera, as always. I really appreciate all you guys being here. Like, I really enjoy doing this, even if I'm not sure if anybody's gonna watch it, but I still want to do this because I enjoy my stitching so much, and because I don't have really people in real life to share it with. So it's a great thing for me to have this outlet. Like, I use Instagram as well. I love Instagram, and this is now another channel, literally channel, for me to be able to share my hobby with other people. And I love watching other Flosstubers, and I love looking at progress on Instagram of and everybody else. It's just so much fun to be able to do it as a community. So thank you all for joining me today. If you are new to my channel and you've lasted this long, then you may actually enjoy more videos from me. Who knows? So if you would enjoy more videos from me, like, make sure to hit that. There's a red button down there that says subscribe, and it's got a bell next to it as well. If you hit that bell, then you will get notified next time I post a new video. Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed some information. I'm quite sure I did. But if you have any questions or any comments at all, please let me know that down below. Let me know if I missed anything and you'd like to know. Yeah, basically this is me. I will see you next time. Once again, thank you for joining me. Have a lovely, well, for me it's the weekend, but by the time I post it, it won't be weekend anymore. So have a lovely week, a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye guys.